I think one of the most fundamental things that people forget to do on this mind body healing journey is just speak to themselves nicely. Speak to themselves lovingly, talk about their healing, how they are healing, overcoming things. Like we can get so caught up in all of the like little details of like, oh, I've got to do visualization. I've got to practice, EFT tapping this amount of times a day. I've got to do my somatic, tracking or whatever the hell they want to do. And all the rest of the time they're sitting there talking to themselves in their head or talking to people about how bad it is, how bad they feel, everything that's going wrong. And this is like something that I think happens a lot on this journey is people forget your words have power, your thoughts have power, and it all starts there. Like I remember when I was really sick and struggling for many years. Um, I had to the first step that I really had to master was gaining control of like what I spoke into my life, what I thought about throughout my day. And this is some of the stuff that is really really hard. Like but if you don't do that and then you do all these visualization and all of this, it's not going to work, you know. So like when I work with people and when I teach people, like hey, this is what we got to do. Like some of the first things I ask them is like, where is your focus? Where's your focus? I ask people to like take a day or take a week and just monitor their thoughts as best they can and be aware of their self-talk. That's it. Like that's the first step. And I feel like that often goes overlooked. So if you're watching this and you're get down this road, say you're struggling with a chronic illness and you're kind of diving into mind body healing, whether you came across brain retraining or you saw some somatic practices or some vagus nerve stuff, and now you're interested and you're curious. um, Start with paying attention to where your mindset is, your thoughts are throughout the day, and where your self talk is, because that makes more of a difference than anything. Your self talk, whether that's internal dialogue or externally talking to other people, has the ability to either help regulate and heal your body, heal your nervous system, or to make you feel like shit, to make you feel worse, to cause more inflammation in your body. There's all of these studies coming out now about the power of our words, our thoughts, all of these things. So if you are struggling, just know that you have this power within you to redirect one way or another. And this is what I often see with people that feel stuck. They're like, I'm doing some of the work, or I'm doing all the work, that they're really not. But they say that they're like, I'm doing all the work. I get up, I do my journaling, I get up and I, do my visualization. There's a couple problems there. One, they're doing it probably from force and fear, but two, they might like do some of these things and maybe they spend that 5 or 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes and they're really kind of monitoring and doing the right things. And then the rest of the day, they go about their day and it's nothing but, oh, this is the worst. I'm so sick. Why are these symptoms so bad? Maybe there's something wrong. I can't deal with this. And then they get on the phone with their friends or they're chatting with their people, online or whatever. And trust me, I've been there, and they're thinking about, they're talking about, oh man, like my symptoms are really bad today. It's just such a challenge. I just can't wait till this gets better. And that's it. That's like their day. So it's like all of that work you just did basically did nothing for you. It didn't help one bit. It didn't help one bit. And this is something that I had to learn, because I was doing some of those practices before and I was doing some of the right things, but yet, I couldn't really quite grasp that knowledge of like, yo, I got to get my mindset right. So here's a couple things that I'm going to give you, some like simple practices that have helped me on my term on in my journey of dealing with a chronic illness and really recognizing the power of my thoughts and my verbal dialogue. So number one, this is where you have to wake up and be intentional with what you choose to focus on. You know, I think people are so unconscious, like Joe Dispenza uses that term being unconscious. It's immediate negativity, it's immediate, fear, worry, stress, it's immediate feeling awful. It's immediate, like, going into worst case scenario. Like, we have to stop that before it starts. And that starts in the morning. It can start in the evening too, but it could really start in the morning, and like gaining control of that through simple practices of a daily morning gratitude practice. Instead of going right into negativity, stop for a second. Think about what are some things that I've often overlooked that I can be grateful for right now, right? Then it's like, okay, what do I want to go right in my day? So this is where the whole what could go right today thing that I've taught before and teach is like, okay, and then start envisioning those things. And it's important to routinely check in with yourself throughout the day. And this is what I've done in my journey is like throughout the day, it's I'll go about living my day, I'll go about working, I'll go about enjoying the day. It's like I'll usually do like a midday check-in, like, man, where have I been like focusing today? Have I been constantly more focused on negativity or worry or stress? Okay, let me like pause and do a reset. And sometimes that's when I'll do a visualization, or I'll go out in nature and I'll go for a walk and just kind of like be present. And that's one of the most important things, is being present. I think people think nervous system regulation is done through force and try and visualization of the future and doing these past visualizations of when they felt healthy. The body heals in the present moment. I believe that. I believe one of the most important practices for healing and healing the body is just simply being present with what is, and allowing the things to be there. But you cannot do that. You can't allow things if you're focused on the past, if you're focused on the future. So it's great to do these visualizations. I do them every single day. Um, Come back to the present moment. Come back to the present moment. How, be and feel safe in your body as best as you can. I get that it's hard with a lot of symptoms. Sometimes you don't understand like how to feel safe. It's little by little. It's steps by steps. And this is how you rewire that negativity bias. You rewire the all of those, fear thoughts and negative spiraling thoughts. Presence, morning routine, and then you can dive into the evening stuff where you're kind of rewiring. This is not a, I even hate to do that, like say this stuff, because people think like, oh, I've got to do this in order to heal. Like, you don't really don't, that, like, if you're able to just monitor your thoughts and be present, like, cool. It's just, these are practices that you have to do, to build that muscle. It's like a practice, so a lot of people think like, well, I'm just doing this stuff and I'm not seeing any of these results. It's like, dude, it's going to take months, if not years, to really kind of rewire that negative subconscious brain that is constantly thinking about worst case scenario. And when worst case scenario does ever happen, it's like, oh, like just focus, focus, focus on it, stress, worry. This is where, building that safety comes back. It's like, can you handle some of the tough times and build safety? So this is what all I wanted to talk about in this video. If you are struggling, be conscious of your self-talk, your thoughts. It's gonna take some work, but you can start today. You can start today. Like, if you took today, just today, said, I'm going to be conscious of where I place my focus, where my thoughts are, just as best as I can. You don't have to be perfect with it. We can't control our thoughts. We can't focus on our thoughts, but just check in. Are my thoughts negative? Am I allowing them to get the best of me? And then I'm following down like the worst case scenario. Have I talked to a bunch of people today? Like, what's my dialogue been like? Has it been negative? Okay, like maybe I need to shift that. Some of that stuff is like the most important things. And when you do that each and every day as best as you can, we're human. We're going to struggle with this. It's not easy. When you do that as best you can, now you are not contributing to spiking your cortisol and inflammation by speaking it into existence. So speak kindly to yourself, speak healing to yourself, affirmations, gratitude as best you can. And when the shit is hitting the fan and the storm is loud, just, can you be present with it? Can you accept it better? Like, these are all of the little nuances that make most of the difference. Love all the practices that I talk about, visualization and even EFT tapping and even some of these other practices. But like, they don't do anything if you just go about rest of the day just focusing negatively, talking negatively. So start here, watch and see how that changes your reality, that changes your physical like being, how you feel. Because I've noticed when I practice that, when I start coming back to the present moment and then practice better self-talk and internal dialogue, that's what makes the biggest difference. Hit me up if you guys need help. This is a lot of what I teach in Heal Club, and when I work with people one-on-one. Just know you're not alone. Like, this is some hard work that we're going through with chronic illness, and it can be absolutely overcome. It takes some time, it takes some patience, and it takes some work on your part.